The Lisa Effect. A long, long time ago, there was this girl that I met, and she was sent by another girl that I already knew. What happened was this: there was a scheme going on to make me appreciate women a little bit more. And what I mean by appreciate them, that means don't look at them at face value and just use them for their bodies when they already knew that. So what happened was this: she was sent by one of the girls that really, really liked me, but failed to realize that I'm okay with being friends. I'm okay with taking it slow as long as you treat me with mutual respect and you treat me like a normal human being and stop letting the fact that I'm a guy ruin the whole basis. What happened was this: the way her friend came at me was I posted something on Instagram, but she posted something first. And what I posted was a reference to an old chick that I did not like, but she knew that I had a really bad history with that chick, but she liked that video anyway, and it was referencing a girl that really, really hit home to me of why I can't really trust women that act like little girls that still feel self-entitled even though you've gained a higher status, and they still feel like you will bow down to them even though you are a higher status than them now because they're spoiled. She liked that video and she thought it was funny, but she also posted a picture of her making fun of my personal life, and she didn't expect me to call her out on it. So I called her out on it, and it pissed her off. Now, one thing you gotta realize is this girl wasn't really a really bad person. I thought she was a bad person because she had a name of someone who got fired from my job, and I thought that she was coming to play me, so I took it slow, and it turns out that I actually was able to make her my girlfriend because she knew I was a good person once I started talking to her. But she took advantage of that, and she tried to make me what I call the ice leg. And she wanted me to be the ultimate boyfriend, but I wasn't gonna put up with none of that. And I was cool with treating her as a friend, but she literally expected me to put up with all that bad shit. So basically, here's what happened. I meet a girl with basically the same hair color that resembles her because I broke up with her. And the reason why I broke up with that other girl was because she disrespected me, and all I wanted was just her to recognize that, yo, this has nothing to do with men and women not being friends. It has something to do with you disrespecting me and thinking that I'm gonna let it slide. And the reason why that is so freaking important is because she literally used this card that, you only use me for my body and this and that because she felt guilty, but she knows that's not the case. So what happened was the last girl was really, really fine, but she didn't really have too much of her personality. It wasn't like she was horrible. It's just that she was in competition with a lot of girls. And that is what struck this other girl that she brought along. And when she brought this girl along, this girl was really nicer to me. Now, this girl was a little bit more chubbier than the previous girl, which is why, like, she tried to pull this whole thing like, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. You only use woman as a piece of meat, when it was the exact opposite. And that was really the basis of why the new girl that she sent to me. So I knew she was automatically sent from another girl. And here's what happened. I still played it cool with her, but this girl had some really nice titties. But she didn't really have too much of her personality. She was cool, she was fun loving, she was good to hang around, but she didn't really have something that stand out. She was socially awkward. I can tell by her Snapchat photos that she didn't really have a lot going on up in her head. That's not being disrespectful. I was just observing from her facial expressions that I've seen that I was asking the new girl out, and I kept on talking to her, so she friends on me. I'm like, okay. But the thing is, the other girl was hotter. So I kept on pushing with sex with the new girl because she wasn't as hot as the old one, and her personality was like meh. So the whole reason why it turned out into be a bad dilemma is her and her friends had to scheme up at this community site that I always go to, and they labeled me a very bad person. They really tried to bring me down. So here's the thing. I've already know that I can get with multiple women, and when I was texting a new girl, she's like, "Oh, I'm not into polyamorous relationships." But with that being said, I didn't care, and I kept on pushing for the sex. This is the first time I've ever tried being in the sleazeball, and here's one thing I want you guys to learn about life and learn about people and learn about why it isn't good to use someone like that. I thought she was fodder because she only had big tits compared to the previous girl who had front, back, and had a prettier face and had everything going on, but she treated me like shit and she treated me out like I was disposable, even though I was on a higher status than her because she was spoiled like the past girl. And so the thing with this new girl was eventually I wasn't gonna keep trying to get into her pants. So what happened was this. So I was able to raise her interest to a point where I knew I can be her boyfriend. I already knew I could be her boyfriend because, you know, the other girl, I already knew I could be hers, but she sent that because she wanted another chance. So she tried to get intel on me, and every single text message I made the hint that I wanted to get in her pants, and she's like, "Oh, nah, fam. But you know, I saw through that, and I was able to raise her interest through my charisma. And that was a struck the hole. So she sent this message like, "Oh, that's what happens when you don't use protection." And so she lured me in with the sex to make me her boyfriend when she was already sent by another one. So after the whole community prank where they tried to label me as a bad guy who abuses women, when really it's the exact opposite. Women set me up because they want to control me because I have multiple options, and he think that making me gay, which is something that ran line, which isn't totally true, that if they can hook me up and get me to go to prison, that if I get fucked in the ass, I'll be more obedient to them. Well, no, that's not the case. That's why I stay away from them, because of that exact fact. So basically, the new girl is like this. So I calculated everything before I sent this text message because, as you know, I had a bunch of friends that were girls that eventually I didn't think of them as a piece of meat whatsoever. I respected them as an anime nerd, just like I was an anime nerd. And we got along, and we were able to talk about everything. But as soon as I got muscles, as soon as I got higher looking clothes, as soon as I got a better swagger, she didn't view me as a nerd anymore. She viewed me as a snack, someone to fuck. This best friend that looked like Velma from Scooby-Doo, who was a total nerd, that used to be the ultimate friend that I wanted to keep as a friend, just stopped using me. I mean, just stop talking to me as a friend, and every single thing, just like I was sending to this girl, had a hint of sex in it. So something happened. So I texted her because in the back of my mind, I already know men and women aren't friends because of this girl I just talked about right now, who was my best friend, who I wanted to keep as a friend, but ended up using me for sex as soon as I stepped my game up. And so I thought about that girl before I texted the new girl that the previous girl sent, all right? So you're following along? So I sent this girl a text message like, "Okay, so when are you gonna come through?" But she told me she lived in New York, so I calculated that too, and I'm all like, all right, so this isn't gonna work out. So it's either like I'm gonna ask her right now, are we gonna fuck, or I'm gonna leave, basically. So, but that's basically street code. But see, you already friends on me, but I'm all like, nah, I can get another one. And plus, men and women aren't friends anyway. So I calculated all this, and so I sent that text message. And so she replies with something that smacks me for the momentary, because this is after her friend set me up and called me a bad person that abuses women. And she told me that I was lonely and that I was retarded. Now, she knows the full story, and I know the full story, but it didn't matter because here's where she was right. And she sent me this whole long ass text message after letting me know that she broke up with her girlfriend and that she's not in the polyamorous relationship. She told me that she already had mad at this long ass text message. And you know, when you get a long ass text from a girl, that means she wants you to stay. She gaslighted me because I am very lonely. I'm lonely because a lot of people try to set me up and get me in trouble. I'd rather be by myself than be with people who try to bring me down 24/7. So, this whole thing about that when she sent that, I let it sink in. I'm like, you know what? It wasn't about me being able to replace her. Because I knew I could replace her. That's why I was willing to let her go. It was the whole fact that I was being an asshole. And so what this new girl was trying to tell me basically is don't judge a book by its cover. You have to get to know me. You have to be the beta male simp in order to get my other side of my personality. I'm like, fuck that. I shouldn't have to pay for your personality, which is why I thought afterwards, but I was going through something at the time. So she gaslighted me at this right second because she knew I was going to cut it off. She knew I was going to leave. So I basically say this. I'm like, okay, so coolio. So she sent all that text messages. She's like, oh, you're retarded. You're already in the friend zone. You can't ask me if I want to fuck and stuff like that. You're retarded because I already established that I want to keep you as a friend. I'm like, okay, but she already knew she was sent by another. So it's like, I already knew that that wasn't what her intention was. And plus, I knew she wanted me to be her boyfriend. So I sent that. So it was the very first time that I got gaslighted like that. So basically, that happened. But what happened was this. So life goes on. I move on because I already knew I was going to get another one. But it wasn't the fact if I can get another one, is if am I really as smart as people are cracking up me to be, or are people just gassing me up so they can use me for entertainment? Which is what was happening, which is why I'm so lonely, because I wasn't entirely what I said I was. But I was always like that. And here's the thing, yo. So I move on, I get another girl, and I replace her, but the fact remains that once I start getting another girl, what other people start doing was totally fucking wrong. And so this is why I realized that she won, okay? So everybody was defending me because I was a popular figure. I was a popular figure at the time, and I still was when I sent that. And so even when she sent that, I had so many people in my fan base saying that, yo, he won because he can get another one. It wasn't the fact that I can get another one. It's the fact that you're a shitty person trying to mess with someone's emotions, just like a girl messes with your emotions to get your resources. I was messing with her emotions so I can get sex out of her, you know? So I was wrong by default for trying to manipulate her like that. So it's like, these fucking people who defending me are full of shit because they just support me for doing the bad things subconsciously. They don't realize that it's not about me having multiple chicks. It's not about it's not really about me moving on. It's the fact that those people started making fun of her once I started to get hotter chicks. I'm like, she was already sent by a hotter chick. This is something that we already knew. Now, yes, he gaslighted me. Yes, I was kind of out of her league. Yes, he was a little bit chubby and I was in shape. So yes, I won in terms of a social value because I could easily replace her. But the lesson stuck with that I didn't get what I wanted is she didn't get what she wanted. I didn't get my piece of meat and she didn't get her Prince Charming. And everybody defended me after that, after I got another girl and got another one. And it was so fucking massive to her that people started making fun of her. People started saying her group chats of all the other girls. I'm like, haha, maybe if you had that personality, he would have stayed. I'm like, you guys are twice as bad as her because you're rubbing it in like little children. This is far beyond the fact of dating. This is you guys being shitty people. I don't care about women like that. And like I said before, if men and women were friends, I wanted to send that text message, but that doesn't give you an excuse to bash her. And now I heard that girl went to a new location. Now she won by default because you are a shitty person. You are the same as a girl when you do shit like that. She was already traumatized by the fact that I was gonna be her Prince Charming and I ended up sleazeballsing her. But she went through even more trauma when people started making fun of her saying, ha ha ha, that was only temporary. Life goes on. You're a little kid. You're a little kid for making fun of her. All I did was call her out saying that, yo, I already have established relationships with multiple girls. I don't feel like waiting too long to fuck. But you know what? Fuck it. Even if it wasn't going to work out, I could have done about it in a better way that wasn't so detrimental to her psyche. I could have asked her a nicer way, like, I'm sorry, like, I led you on, but I'm going to dip. I'm never going to be a sleazeball again. I'm never going to insult a woman when I'm trying to get something like that because here's the thing. It was just a loop. That's all it fucking was. I didn't get what I wanted out of her. And even though I moved on, I basically picked on a little kid. I abused a child when I did that because even though she was expecting too much, I could have got it in my point across in a way more respectful way. So I had the right to get roasted. She had the right to roast me. She had the right to say, yo, this is why people assume. This is why people assume that you use woman for a piece of meat, even though she knows that this is why people assume, and you're not gonna get many women like that with that same strategy as, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be your friend just to get in your pants. A lot of guys try that strategy, but the whole point of it is that is why you should never be a sleazeball, because it doesn't get you the results. In fact, it just makes you more of a terrible person. I feel bad for what I did to her. I used to think that, yo, she murked the fuck out of me, when in reality, I murked her because she was already on a loyal tier when it comes to my woman list. But now it's almost to a point where people are literally making her the laughing stock at school, and it literally making fun of her, and like my business and everything, making the references to her. It was really fucking horrible. You traumatized this little kid and you made this a reality show. You made her name a living hell. Every time you say her name, people automatically think about, ah ha 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 ha, she thought she could keep him forever, ah ha 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 ha, he's a pimp. I'm like, and this is why pimps are full of shit, and this is why pimps beat up women. I don't want to be a pimp. I don't want to be this and that, because look at what the fuck I did to her. She turned into a fucking zombie. And that is why I will never be a sleazeball again.